It's the Channel 5 Movie Club. Tonight, Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, and Jack Palance in The Professionals.
Good evening, film fans. I'm Nick Heiress, a member of the Channel 5 Movie Club. Where I live in New York's final frontier, Tottenville, Staten Island, we'd call this a classic shoot-'em-up western. It's The Professionals, and it deals with four very qualified soldiers of fortune hired to do your basic dirty job. Like their counterparts in other movies of this time period, from The Magnificent Seven to The Wild Bunch, these characters are typical 1960s anti-heroes, guns for hire, mercenaries, with their own code of honor. So sit back and saddle up, partners, because you're in for a really rough and rowdy riding with The Professionals. It begins after these messages. We're watching The Professionals, a film which received 4 stars from the Daily News when it was first released in 1966. Next week, the Channel 5 Movie Club is going to present The Boys in the Band, starring Cliff Gorman, Leonard Fry, Frederick Combs, and Lawrence Luckinbill. Immediately following that picture, Hollywood's finest will present Judy Garland in A Star is Born, and next week's Movie Grade Saturday at 8 o'clock is a great picture about World War I aviation. It's called The Dawn Patrol. And here are the original coming attractions for that movie as they were shown in theaters 45 years ago. Thanks for joining me tonight for The Professionals, a great action picture for all time. Stay tuned now for East of Eden, starring James Dean, Julie Harris, and Raymond Massey. And don't forget next week's Channel 5 Movie Club showing of The Boys in the Band. This is Nick Heiress. Good night.
It's the Channel 5 Movie Club. Tonight, Cross of Iron, starring James Coburn, Maximilian Schell, and James Mason.
Good evening. I'm Bob Stenzel, a member of the Channel 5 Movie Club. Tonight, a brilliant cast in a film about the horrors and futility of war, Cross of Iron, was directed by Sam Peckinpah. It tells of the experiences of a German Wehrmacht platoon and its retreat in the Russian Caucasus Mountains during 1943. The picture reaches surrealistic and nightmarish intensity as the troops undergo savage Russian assault. The stars are James Coburn, James Mason, Maximilian Schell, Senta Berger, and David Warner. In a moment, with limited commercial interruptions, Cross of Iron. we're watching Cross of Iron on the Channel 5 Movie Club. The picture was based on a novel by Willie Heinrich, and it was directed by one of the masters of action films, Sam Peckinpah. Next week's picture is a wonderful film about turn-of-the-century New York. It is The Heiress, starring Olivia de Havilland in her Oscar-winning portrayal. Co-stars are Montgomery Clift, Ralph Richardson, and Miriam Hopkins. Thank you for joining me for tonight's Channel 5 Movie Club screening of Cross of Iron. Next week, please don't miss Olivia de Havilland in The Heiress. This is Bob Stenzel. Good night.
Next Saturday at 8, Channel 5's Movie Greats returns with the classic World War I tale, Dawn Patrol, starring Errol Flynn and David Niven. Tonight at 11, Burt Lancaster heads the all-star cast of The Professionals, an action-packed adventure story set in 1917. It co-stars Lee Marvin and Claudia Cardinal. In future weeks, don't miss the Movie Greats presentations of I Am a Fugitive, starring Paul Muni, and Suddenly Last Summer. Good evening, and welcome to Channel 5's Movie Greats, your favorite pictures of the past. It's Christmas 1938, and Louis Satchmo Armstrong is in the top 10 of the hit parade with Jeepers Creepers. It's a song from the movie Going Places. Olsen and Johnson are on Broadway with Hell's a Poppin', and the Czechoslovakian Minister of Education signs an order stopping all Jewish professors from teaching. And Errol Flynn's new World War I adventure film, The Dawn Patrol, is opening. His co-stars are David Niven and Basil Rathbone. Sit back and relax in your seat at the Strand Theater at Broadway and 47th Street for The Dawn Patrol. Next Saturday at 8, Channel 5's Movie Greats presents the classic story of life on a Southern chain gang, entitled I Am a Fugitive of a Chain Gang, starring Paul Muni. Tonight at 11, don't miss the landmark film about homosexuality in America, The Boys in the Band, starring Cliff Gorman, Leonard Fry, and Lawrence Luckinbill. In a future week, Join us for the Movie Greats presentation of Suddenly Last Summer, starring Elizabeth Taylor, Katharine Hepburn, and Montgomery Clift. Next Saturday at 8, Channel 5's Movie Greats returns with Tennessee Williams' steamy Southern story, Suddenly Last Summer, starring Katharine Hepburn, Elizabeth Taylor, and Montgomery Clift. Tonight at 11, James Coburn, Maximilian Schell, and James Mason star in Sam Peckinpah's action-adventure film, Cross of Iron. In future weeks, don't miss the Movie Greats presentations of My Sister Eileen, starring Rosalind Russell and Janet Blair, and The Shop Around the Corner. Cross of Iron will be shown with limited commercial interruptions. Cross of Iron will return after these messages. And now, back to Cross of Iron. The Heiress will be shown with limited commercial interruptions. The Heiress will return after these messages. And now, back to The Heiress. Double Indemnity will be shown with limited commercial interruptions. Double Indemnity will return after these messages. And now, back to Double Indemnity. Viva Maria will be shown with limited commercial interruptions. Viva Maria will return after these messages. And now, back to Viva Maria. It's the Channel 5 Movie Club. Tonight, The Heiress, starring Olivia de Havilland, Montgomery Clift, and Ralph Richardson.
Good evening. I'm Maddie Verestro, a member of the Channel 5 Movie Club. Tonight's movie is The Heiress. Olivia de Havilland won her second Academy Award as the unattractive dowager who falls in love with a fortune hunter played by Montgomery Clift. The art direction, costume design, and musical score also won Oscars for this 1949 film. The Heiress was Montgomery Clift's third film after Red River and The Search. The chemistry between the two stars make this picture as wonderful today as it was in 1949. This is one of the most requested movie club pictures, and tonight will be a rare opportunity because it hasn't been shown on TV in a very long time. In a moment, with limited interruptions, The Heiress. We're watching The Heiress on a Channel 5 movie club. William Wyler directed this film adaptation of the celebrated Broadway play based on Henry James Washington Square. 2 weeks from tonight, the Channel 5 Movie Club will present Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray in Double Indemnity. Next week's movie club will be preempted by the Jets-Raiders football game.
Of course, he hadn't developed that Muhammad Ali.
Thank you for joining me for tonight's Channel 5 Movie Club screening of The Heiress. 2 weeks from tonight, don't miss Double Indemnity with Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray. This is Addie Verastro. Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to Channel 5's Movie Greats, your favorite pictures of the past. It's May 1941, and Maria Elena is beginning to climb the charts. 160 Nazi sailors in the United States illegally are arrested. At Loew's theaters all over the metropolitan area, the double bill is Men of Boys Town and Blondie Goes Latin. At 175th Street and Broadway, step with us into one of the magnificent Loew's Wonder Theaters for a very special treat. It's the sequel to Boys Town. Spencer Tracy and Mickey Rooney recreate their roles as Father Flanagan and the delinquent who is reformed in Men of Boys Town. Sit back in the splendor of Loew's 175th Street for another big hit from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Next Saturday at 8, Channel 5's Movie Greats presents Spencer Tracy as Father Flanagan in Men of Boys Town, co-starring Mickey Rooney. Tonight at 11, the Channel 5 Movie Club presents Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray in the 1940s murder mystery classic, Double Indemnity, with Edward G. Robinson. In future weeks, don't miss the Movie Greats presentations of Charge of the Light Brigade, starring Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland, and Too Hot to Handle.
wanted us in this series, and they got us.
Olivia de Havilland, winner of the Academy Award for To Each His Own, acclaimed for her arresting performance in The Snake Pit, now confirms her position as dramatic queen of the screen with her poignant and unforgettable portrayal of the Heiress. Co-starring with her is Montgomery Clift, whose phenomenal rise to stardom in Red River has made him the most sought-after young actor on the screen. Now he finds a role which gives full expression to his romantic appeal as the dashing young fortune hunter who makes love to the heiress. With them, Ralph Richardson, one of the world's great names of stage and screen. Miriam Hopkins, returning to films after a triumphant stage tour. One of Paramount's brightest young stars, Mona Freeman, and Vanessa Brown. These names head the distinguished cast of The Heiress. His warmth of human understanding, his sure sense of dramatic values have made William Wyler's name on a motion picture the guarantee of great and enduring entertainment. Twice winner of the Academy Award for the direction of The Best Years of Our Lives and Mrs. Miniver, he now follows those unforgettable films with his Paramount triumph, The Heiress. One of the outstanding Broadway stage hits of the decade, The Heiress was adapted from Henry James' penetrating novel of a woman who cast aside all the conventions she lived by to hold the man she wanted.
He must come. He must take me away. He must love me.
Catherine, you must take hold of yourself.
No, Morris must take hold of me. Morris will love me. For all those who didn't.
I can't stand it anymore. What if they do hang me?
They're not going to hang you, baby.
It's better than going on this way.
They're not going to hang you. Because you're going to do it and I'm going to help you.
Yes, from the moment they met, it was murder. But always behind them, with his devilish hunches and his brilliant brain, was Keyes.
The murder's never perfect. Always comes apart sooner or later. And where two people are concerned, it's usually sooner.
Could they get away from him and his relentless pursuit? And could they get away with murder?
You don't know Keyes. Once he gets his teeth into something, he never lets go. He'll investigate you. He'll have you shadowed. He'll watch you every minute from now on. You afraid, baby?
Yes, I'm afraid. But not of Keyes. I'm afraid of us.
I'd like to move in on her right now, tonight. If it wasn't for Norton and his striped pants ideas about company policy, I'd have the cops after her so quick it'd make a head spin. Now, we know the Dietrichson dame is in it, and somebody else.
Only you haven't got a single thing to go on, Keyes.
He'll show. He's got to show. Sometime, somewhere, they've got to meet.